Hi, morning. So the idea today is we're going to work in one of my favorite class, which is working on the midline. Working on the midline is basically a work that I started to do when I started doing inversions. So handstands and headstands, mainly handstands and pincha mayurasana. And it was basically, it's a way of thinking of your body as a whole unity moving and hugging towards the center. But as I have kind of started to do other kind of yoga, I started to approach more Hatha Raya and do more Ashtanga. I then discovered that actually this concept of hugging the midline, it was something that you could apply in every single one of the poses. And it helps me a lot when I'm sitting. And it helps me a lot when I'm trying to release tension. So as everyone knows, like especially during the last days when you're like constantly checking the phone, you're constantly doing this. The concept of hugging the midline and then kind of hugging towards the center of your body and at the same time kind of hugging the back allows us to have kind of a complete beautiful posture all the time, even though we don't have it. And it's of course going to be especially focused on the core, so on the Manipura chakra, but like not too much. So don't worry, it's not going to be like lots of abdominals. So we're going to do this. We're actually going to start standing. And we're going to start in Tadasana. So at the front of your mat, you should start with your toes together. I'm going to put one more leg. Start with your toes together. Your heels slightly apart. Then think about bringing your buttocks together and opening the hips to the side. And at the same time, bringing the ribs together and hugging towards the center. So kind of the midline, hugging the midline is like you were hugging towards the center, like there was a serpent. I think I have explained this before. So you start from the legs, kind of from the internal side of your foot, going outside towards your knees, kind of moving outward, then around your legs, and then coming into the buttocks, so the buttocks hugs, and there is the sensation of hugging into the buttocks and opening the hips, then across your back, again, like a serpent, like an espiral, coming here to the core, so you feel like there is this sensation of hugging towards the center and the ribs come together, and then it crosses again towards the chest and then goes to the back and then is trying to open into the chest. It's trying to open into the back, opening the shoulder blades, rolling the shoulders to the back, coming towards the center, and as it comes into your neck, feeling like you have a space. So opening once again into the neck, and at the same time protecting the neck. So just close the eyes and focus on that, feeling that espiral going, again, from the internal side of your feet out on top, outward, inward behind your knees. Again, touching into the buttocks getting together, the hips opening, coming into the ribs close, opening into the chest. Coming together into the neck, so it hugs towards the center, it protects the neck. The chin slightly comes towards the chest. And then as it comes into the head, feeling like there is an opening towards the back of your ears. So there is an energy of moving outward towards the back of your ears and out. So that's the whole concept of the spiral of hugging the midline. With the eyes closed, bring the hands side to side, then hug yourself towards the center, a natural hug. Notice which hand is going on top first. Then as you hug yourself, as you hug, you try to hug your shoulders, of the back of your shoulders. Think about hugging again into into kind of the core side, into the core area, and then keeping the buttocks together. So you're hugging and you're bringing the chest inward, but you're not abandoning that idea of opening the hips and keeping the core engaged. Now open the arms, and then reverse that kind of movement, but again, keep that hugging the midline into the buttocks. Exhale, change the hands. So this is where some awareness comes. Hug yourself and change the hands. And again, try to keep that idea of hugging into the midline, buttocks together, ribs pulling towards each other, the hips opening. Now, as we open the hands, when we open the arms, we're going to come into a kind of cactus pose with your hands. Then from the center, again, feeling that you're hugging towards the shoulders, but then the buttocks gets engaged. Open your chest up, look at the ceiling. Now hug into the ribs and allow the work to come from the chest area. Then hug, change hands. Last one. Open again into a cactus arms. Hug into the buttocks. And exhale, release the hands into either side. We're going to start with a quick warm up. We're going to actually use a little bit of a pose that we almost never use in my classes. No, I don't know why I do it so much in my own practice. We're going to do a lot of chair. So from your Tadasana, again, apply the concept of hugging the midline, bend the knees, pass the hands through the mat, sit into the chair, and then actively hug the midline. Same concept. In this case, your knees are together, so you're pressing against the knees, against each other. You almost feel like the heels are separating. The core is active, the buttocks is getting together. Open the chest, look in between your hands. Big inhale. Big exhale, 2 more. Big inhale. Big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. Exhale, hands down. Touch the mat if you can. If you cannot, bend the knees. Feel the grounding into the mat. Then as you feel the grounding, however your hands are, push the mat away and extend your legs as much as you can. Now apply the concept of midline here. Same thing. Buttocks together. Core coming in. Your ribs coming towards each other. And open the chest. Look towards the front of the mat. Look slightly forward and smile. Exhale, release. Hands into the hips. Inhale, all the way up. Hands up. Exhale, hands down to the back, getting ready, and all the way to the front, sit into the chair, bend the knees. Utkatasana pose, same thing, hugging into the core, hugging into the buttocks, the knees pulling together, the heels pulling apart. One more time, opening the chest. Exhale, release, hands down. Same thing as we did before. Tip of the fingers first. Try to engage the legs. Push the mat away as you extend the legs as much as you can. Inhale, look to the front, open the chest and engage everything else. Ribs in, buttocks together. This time, hands into the mat. Walk your feet to the back, find plank. So plank is possibly the pose where you can apply hugging the midline the most. So we're going to try to, once again, apply the concept. We're going to feel that rolling sensation, outward sensation from your feet. Hopefully that sensation is going to engage into your quads. If it's too much, you can bring the knees down at any moment. Open the hips. Now feel that kind of serpent, that spiral going around your lower back, hugging into the ribs. Ribs come together. Open the chest, look forward. And then as it comes to the neck, just allow the neck to go a little bit down. Relax it. Bring the knees down. Chest and chin. Be careful if you have any neck issues here. On top of the toes. Pull forward and up into your bakasana, into your serpent pose. Push back. Then move back into child's pose. Really feel that you're pulling away. And apply the concept of hugging the midline here. So open the chest as the ribs come in. So it is an engaged child's pose. If you need to do child's pose at any moment, do this one so there is an engagement that is working your body as you continue to do it. Press the hand into the mat, look forward, come to the tip of your toes or tuck the toes in and slowly extend the legs, downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of the day. So maybe we need to do a little bit of work into our legs just to get them to go into the full potential of the pose. You can walk your down dog. You can bend the knees and extend them at the same time. Just continue to do so. Or you can stay just quiet there. And allow the body, allow the gravity to do the work. 2 more breaths here, and then apply the concept of hugging the midline here. So once again, spiral going on top of your feet towards the outside, hugging into the knees, feeling the quads engaged. As the hamstrings open, your buttocks coming almost together, not so much here, but a little bit. The ribs coming together, allowing you to press from the back into the arms. So it's not the only the arms that are pushing the mat. It's the lats as well. It's the serratus. It's everything in the back that is pushing the mat away. Open the chest a little bit. Try to move your chest down towards the mat. And exhale. Slowly bring your right leg on the outside of your hands. Your right hand. Inhale, look forward. Hug the midline first. So feel that the elbow is, that the knee is going against the tricep forward. And it's kind of hugging the midline, almost like you are going to do bakasana. Feel that sensation of hugging towards the center. Keep that hugging as you move back and forth. So strongly feel that the knee is really moving together or kind of pulling next to your tricep. Now, hands into the tip of the fingers. Inhale, hands into the hips. Once again, apply the concept of hugging into the midline. Hug. So feel the spiral, feel the buttocks coming together. Open the hips, bring the ribs together. Open the chest, hands up. Look up. We're going to do a little bit of the same as we were doing before, as we were doing when we were in Tadasana. So we're going to open the hands into a cactus. Exhale, hug into the center. Inhale, open into a cactus. This time try to use a cactus pose to really feel that as the ribs join together, you can open the chest a little bit more. You can point your hands or you can bring the hands almost facing towards the ceiling. Exhale, hug the other side, the other hand on top. Now release, hands all the way up. Exhale, release them down on the inside of your leg. Exhale your modification or your pose, your level of pose into lizard pose at this moment. You can come down into the elbows or you can stay up. Wherever you are, just try to feel that knee really pushing towards the center. So maybe at the beginning, as our hips are a bit stiff, just keep here a little bit high up and bend the elbows just a little bit. Once again, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Bring the back knee down. Inhale, bring your right hand into your right hip. Open the chest. Then again, apply the concept of hugging the midline. So the knee is going to want to move outward, the right knee. Try to keep that knee hugging towards the center as you twist, as you look back. Bring your right hand into your chest, and from there, try to feel that your chest is opening. You're doing nothing with your neck. That is the chest that is going to open. Breathe here, just for one more breath. Exhale, release down. Unbend the back knee. Slowly push towards the front. Then spring forward into a little half frog. So half chair. Hands forward. Same thing. Think about the knees pulling together and lifting you up. Ribs pulling together. Chest opens. Hold the space for 3, 2, and 1. Hands in front of your heart. Release. Same thing. Hands up. Bend them and bring them into a cactus. Open and slightly back bend by feeling that the buttocks come together, the ribs stay active. Hands facing up into the ceiling. Exhale, hands pull together into the midline. Go all the way down. Maybe a little bit lower than you were before. Not yet into Malasana, not yet into our squat position. Hug, hug, hug into the center. Release the hands down. This time your right foot is going to go all the way to the back. And just start by going back and forth, finding some space, maybe some circles. Use the breath to orientate you, but then just keep that sensation of your knee hugging into the arms. Beautiful. Coming to the tip of your fingers. First, before going up, look at your feet. Make sure they are separated about hip distance apart a little bit more. Find a grounding space. Find the space where you can take your hands off. Bring the hands into the hips. And same thing, hips coming outward and then buttocks coming inward. Feel how that can keep you, that can give you a lift. Engage the ribs inward. Oh, and open the chest. Hands into a cactus. Same thing. You're going to keep that sensation of hugging into the midline as your chest opens and you look up. Hold it for 3. Hold this for 2. Hold it for 1. Hug into the center. Notice which hands comes up. Then open, cactus. Then hug into the center, opposite hand. Last time. Open into the ceiling. And exhale, release all the way down. As we did before, your choice, bring the knee down, your lizard up or your lizard down, but then you have to really keep that engagement of the left knee hugging into the center. So keep hugging into the center. You don't need to go all the way down into lizard if the space in the hips does not come already. Last breath. Then release. Your right hand is going to go a little bit towards the right. You're going to start to twist your left hand into the left hip. Look towards the back, but then keep hugging your left knee towards the center. Hug, hug, hug. Exhale, come towards the front of the mat. Push the mat away, lift the back knee. Plank pose. Hold this for about 5 breaths and apply your midline concept. So feel the spiral going into the knees, getting the quads active. So it's not only into your arms, opening the hips, bring the ribs together, opening the chest so you get a little bit longer. And then from there, go halfway down or all the way down on top of the toes. Open up into your urva and to your upward facing dog. Bend the knees, move back, and push them out away. Push yourself back into this active child's pose. So keep the toes tucked and push yourself forward. Then with the tips of your fingers or with the hands, push yourself back. Then apply the concept of hugging into the midline. One more breath. Come almost into hands and knees. And slowly start to bring the knees up. Knees up. Then as you move into your downward facing dog as slow as you can, start to feel the concept of hugging the midline. Your chest pushes forward and opens, but your shoulders keep hugging towards the center. You extend the legs as the hips move outward. The ribs pull inward to protect your lower back. Your buttocks comes together, which allows the quads to get engaged. Hamstring starts to open. And chest starts to melt down into the mat. Inhale, look towards the front. This time, bring your left foot on the outside of your left hand. We're not going to do the whole sequence because we already did it. We're only going to push the other foot on the outside of the right hand. And we're going to come into a small, kind of almost malasana, but not totally, completely malasana. Hands forward. Now bring the hands in between your legs and then start to hug. Then as you hug, allow your body to come into complete malasana, into complete squat. Look at your feet, make sure they are kind of pointing in the same side as your knees. Keep hugging into the center, and as you hug into the center, the chest comes up. Hug for 3. Hug for 2, feel the ribs engage, feel the buttocks engage. And 1. Slowly, using the leg power, lift yourself up. Inhale, hands all the way up. Exhale, bend the elbows into a cactus open. Exhale, hug. Open into a cactus. Use the core. And hug toward the center. And release. So we're going to do this whole sequence only 2 more times and very fast to get some heat. We're going to finish in malasana and just do a little bit of work into the mat. Ready? Inhale, hands up. Exhale, bring the hands to the back as we did before. Preparing almost for a chair pose. Hands forward. And then go as deep as you need, as you can. Hug into the center. If you come into the Malasana, hands together wherever you are. One more breath, hands down. Right foot all the way to the back. We're going to start with the left side. Start going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Small circles, a little bit faster than before. Coming to the tip of your fingers, make sure you have sufficient foundation with your legs, and inhale, bring the hands into the hips. Inhale, hands up. Hug the midline. So that concept of spiral, apply it. Ribs, buttocks together, and chest and hips open. Look into your hands, open into a cactus, and then hug yourself. Open into a cactus, hug into the other side. Open into a cactus this time, bring the hands all the way to the front. Knee down. Open the chest, bring the hand into the center, into your core, into your heart area, and open the heart as much as you can. Keep doing that rotation, bring the hand all the way to the back. If possible, grab your foot on the outside or inside, and feel that you're pulling everything out, and at the same time, everything is hugging towards the center. Look at your left knee, make sure it's hugging towards the center. Exhale, release. Extend the leg. Bend the knees slightly. Try to go into your lizard. Maybe this time it comes into the elbows. 2 breaths. One more. Keep the knee hugging. If you need, you can bring the arm around and keep the knee towards the center. From there, press into the mat, find your plank. Again, apply the concept of hugging into the midline. Your ribs are active. Open the chest, get a little bit forward. Then push into the toes, move forward halfway down. Inhale into upward facing dog. Bend the knees. Child's pose, active child's pose. Press the hands down. Slowly downward facing dog. And apply the midline. Right foot on the outside of your right hand. Go back and forth and in circles. Find the space. You're a little bit warmer now, so it's easier. Hands into your hips. Inhale all the way up. Find a good foundation. Hands up. Hug into the midline first. Open into a cactus. Chest open up. Exhale, hug everything to the center. Now open again. Hug the other way. Open for the last time. Try to really open. Exhale, move forward. Bring the back knee down. Bring your right hand into the heart and start to open the chest to the side as you keep your right knee hugging towards the center. Bring your hand to the back. Try to grab your foot on the inside or outside. Then bring that foot outward. So try to kind of kick with your foot as you keep that energy motion towards the front. So there's 2 opposite energies here. The same into the center. The knee is going to hug as the chest is going to open. Release out. Tuck your toes. Extend the leg, your choice. For your lizard pose, stay up. Bend the elbows a little bit or go all the way down. If you're all the way down or wherever you are, keep hugging your right knee towards the center. You can help yourself with your arm. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Push the hands into the mat. Really push everything forward. Then small jump. Come with both feet on the outside of your mat. Hands into a prayer. And then slowly on your own, you decide how low you want to go. Into your malasana, hug the midline. Same thing, your hips are you're trying to open the hips, but you're hugging with your knees. You're opening the chest, and the buttocks are together. Nice. Strongly press, 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 all the way up. Open the arms, or bring the hands up. Hands into a cactus. Feel the sensation of hugging the midline with the ribs, giving you a space to open the chest up. Hug into the center. Open once again. Hug towards the center, opposite hand up. Open again. This time try to go a little bit deeper. Hands into prayer. Bend the knees. Come all the way into your malasana. Last time. Hands down. This time we start with the left foot all the way to the back. Same thing, small warm up here. Coming to the tip of your fingers. Inhale, hands into the hips and up. Hands up. Smile. This time with the last work, cactus, open the chest. Try to go as deep as you can. Hug towards the center. Cactus arms. Hug towards the center, opposite hand up. Cactus hands. This time, add in a pose, extend both legs, move towards the side of the mat. Hands into the hips and all the way down. We're almost finished with the standing sequence. Then as you move forward and down, you can bring your hands into the outside of your foot, down into the mat. Wherever they are, they're just allowing you to stay there. And apply the concept of the midline once again here. So roll everything from the legs, kind of from the top, from the outside and around. Feel the quads getting engaged so the hamstrings can really open. Hips opening and your buttocks kind of getting together. The ribs really getting active. So this is not only a legs pose. Chest opens. Inhale, look forward. Open the chest. Smile. Exhale, release. Try to go as deep as you can. And from here, walk your hands all the way to the back. Bring your foot slightly outward. Come into a half malasana. Bring the other foot up, looking up into the ceiling. Hands down. Walk all the way to the other side. Half malasana, skandasana. Hug towards the center and open the other side. So this is hugging the midline in one side, allowing the body to open. Skandasana once more into the other side. Then walk your hands all the way towards the center. Inhale one last time. Opening, exhale, release. Walk your hands all the way to the front. Your feet should be hip distance apart. Knee down. First, you're going to open, so hands into your heart. Open all the way to the back. Rotate, try to grab the back foot. Maybe this time it's easier. If this time you feel you have the space, you can bend the elbow and go all the way down. Keep your right knee hugging towards the center. Hug from your, hug from your legs. Activate the legs. Feel that the hip is really getting longer, your hip flexor especially. But at the same time, the ribs are protecting everything to keep them together. From here, you allow
If your elbow is down, allow all the way to go into a lizard pose. You can this time come into a lizard pose with the knee down or knee up, your choice. Breathe. Keep hugging the right knee into the center for 2 and 1. Press them out away, or your choice. Stay down into your elbows. Move into a plank into the forearms, or a plank into your hands. Whichever option you think is best for you at this moment, and same concept, midline. Wherever you are, knees down, walk your hands back, active child's pose, keep the toes stuck. With the toes, press forward, with the hands, press back. Almost like trying to capture all the energy of the body into the middle, into your manipura, the kind of area underneath your ribs, your core area. From here, you're going to look forward, you're going to come into plank, push, push, push forward, go halfway down, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot is going to go all the way to the front. We're finished, we're almost finished. Come back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Come into the tips of your fingers, come all the way up. Last attempt. The last attempt is really try to go as deep as you can. Hands up, look up at the ceiling, bend the elbows, open the chest, hug into the midline, open the chest, hug, opposite hand on top, open the chest, and this time exhale, look towards the side of the wall. Same thing as we did on the other side. Fall forward. Grab the outside of your feet for your Padottanasana or your favorite option. If you really want to focus on your chest and you have any neck problems, you can go slightly up or all the way up. Rotate your arms outward. Bring the hands together. And exhale, move all the way down. And for this Padottanasana, don't try to force yourself to move down. Use to apply the concept of the midline. So using your ribs to open the chest, using your buttocks to open the legs. Kind of open the hip flexibility or to, open the hips to the side and allowing you a little bit more space to go down. Release the hands down, with hands or without hands. Walk the hands to the side or go towards the back side of the mat. Skandasana into the right leg, with hands or without hands. Skandasana towards the left leg. One more time. Skandasana towards the back of the mat. Last time. Skandasana towards the front of the mat. Release the hands to the front. Press them out away. Both feet on the outside of your mat. And finalize with a nice Malasana. Last opportunity to try to go as high as you can. Hug into the center. Try to apply the whole concept of hugging into the midline. As slow as you can, release your buttocks down. Bring the knees towards your chest. Bring the hands behind your knees. Keep that hugging sensation and then just leave your feet a little bit. Options here. Go halfway, keep hugging. Keep that sensation of the knees really pulling towards the chest, or maybe extend. We're gonna hold here for 20 seconds. So as you wait and your body starts to shake, really try to incorporate, to embody the concept of hugging into the midline. Chest opening, hugging into the center, opening the legs. Hug into the midline. Release slowly, really slowly. Then hug the legs. Maybe don't touch the mat with your feet. Bring the hands behind your chins. Same thing, go halfway or extend the legs. Maybe this time the legs go a little bit higher. Stay here, 20 breaths. 20 seconds, sorry. About 10 breaths. Try to embody the concept of hugging the midline, opening the chest, maybe releasing your elbows down. Using the core to keep you here. 3 breaths. Last breath. Bend the knees. Bring the knees almost to touch the mat, but just hug and try to not touch the mat. Option, do you go into either one of the last options or you grab your heel and extend halfway or all the way. Again, 10 breaths, 20 seconds. Use the core to keep yourself here. We're now going to start to do the same sequence but down and start using a little bit more of the core. So slowly, really slowly, separate your hands. Don't use the hands. Keep the hands towards the heels. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. And hold for 1. Slowly bend the knees. Hug. If you can, don't bring the feet down. Hug into the center. Hands into your chins once again. Extend the legs. We're going to do 5 breaths with hands, 5 breaths without. 3 breaths. 4, start to prepare. Hands towards the chin. Hug the midline for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug. Last time. This time, hug into the back of the knees. Stay here with the knees bent or extend the legs. We're going to do 3 breaths with hands, 7 without. 2 breaths now, and 3, and then 7, 6, smile. It's easier if you have a smile. 5, 6, and 7. Just allow your body to go all the way back and then rock all the way to the mat. Keep your core active as you move your feet towards the back of the mat. Bring the hands into the back. Bend the knees. Try to bring the knees to touch the forehead or maybe all the way down into the mat or around your ears. hug everything into the center. Same concept of hugging into the midline. Then slowly start to bring the knees together. Keep that sensation of hugging into the midline as you bring the legs up into your Salampa your Kando pose. Then just hold here. I'm going to try to do a whole 20 breaths here. Keep the concept of hugging into the midline so your core is active. A handful of modifications here, so you can use option 1. Play with the legs. One leg goes down, then the other. One leg goes down, then the other. Option 2, you can try to go into a half lotus or a full lotus. If you're in a half lotus or full lotus, you can try to use your hands to really hug the midline. And here I'm not prepared. Really hug the midline. So you can bring the hands up into the knees and press the knees outward. And you can just stay up. Or last option, you can bring the hands up towards the knees and then hold it. But if you have any issue with the neck, this one may not be the best. Wherever you are, hold for another 10 breaths. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees once again towards the forehead. Extend the arms into the mat, facing or pulling towards the front. Then as slow as you can, release the whole vertebrae all the way down the spine, down, really slowly. Try to feel how each vertebra goes into the mat. Then last, extend the legs. Hug into the center, bring the hands underneath your buttocks, press the mat, open up into the chest, fish pose. Only 5 breaths here. First, bring the chest up, then release. Bend the knees for the last pose of the day. Feel that your heels can feel your heels. Make sure your toes are slightly pointing towards themselves and the heels are slightly apart. Feel that, again, feel that you're hugging, that the knees are hugging towards each other. Then apply the concept of the midline as you raise your hips up. For Setu Bandhasana, your bridge pose. Bring the hands like a robot, like a 70s robot on either side. Then with those hands, feel like you have energy in between your hands and you're hugging that energy into the core. So try to lift your core, try to lift your chest so that energy can come just in between your hands and core. Really, really feel that you're hugging towards the midline. opening the chest, and slowly release down. We're going to do these 2 more times. Inhale deeply, exhale, lift. Keep that ball of energy in between your hands. Keep that you're pulling that energy into the core for 3. Really feel that the legs are strongly active. Hips are pushing up and opening. 2. Chest opens. 1. Release last time. Inhale, release. Exhale, let go. Inhale, last time, go all the way up. Bridge pose. Feel like you're hugging something in between. There's a mass of energy in between your hands. Keep hugging for 3. Keep the legs active for 2. Keep the chest open for 1. And release. This time, actually hug everything. Bring the knees towards your chest and hug. With your hands, look for the outside of your feet, going into baby, happy baby. Then as you're in this happy baby, one more time, feel that sensation of hugging into the midline. You're pulling the knees down and inward. The knees are trying to hug your body. Your core is active, your hips are open, the chest is open. Go side to side, slightly side to side. Really feel that your feet are pointing all the way up, and slowly, really slowly release the feet. Slowly start to bring the feet all the way to the back. Extend the legs, release the legs. Deep, deep, deep breath, controlled breath. Exhale, release. We go for the last 3 minutes of the class. Just going into Shavasana. The intent today was to remind you constantly of the concept of midline, but at the same time to use that concept of midline to allow you to forget everything else. And this is something I've been kind of practicing in my meditations. When there is a source of stress, whatever it is, instead of focusing on something that you cannot control, you can focus on something that you can control. You can control your movements. You can control your breath. You can control your arms. You can control your legs. There's lots of things we cannot control in life. There's always things that we can. So whenever a moment of uncertainty and chaos and seems that everything is collapsing, focus on the things that you can control. Maybe focus on them just for a while and on hugging that midline and ensuring that that midline is active. You can open the chest to receive anything else. You can stay here in the Shavasana if you want. Otherwise, bend your knees, bring your right knee towards the chest, extend your left leg. Bring the knee towards the left side and open. I always try to finish my practices with a twist. Then here you can even apply the concept of hugging the midline. You're opening the chest, but the ribs are protecting you and allow you to open. Change sides. Hug the left knee. Extend the right leg. Bring the left knee towards your right side. Then allow the chest to open, facing the ceiling. Your head almost pointing towards the left side, but you don't need to. The opening should be coming from the chest, not from the neck. Then just release all the way to the right side. One decide to hug everything to the center as we were when we were in our mom's womb. Use the hands to lift yourself up. Come into your favorite sitting position. Keep the eyes closed and then apply the concept of hugging into the midline. Now that we have practiced it all over, even with the sitting position, you can feel the legs, the knees pulling towards each other. The quads active, the hips open, the ribs kind of pulling towards each other. The chest open, the shoulder blades touching. The neck open and wide as your chin slightly comes towards the chest. Bring your hands into a prayer in front of your heart, and one more time as we were doing with the Malasana, feel that sensation of hugging into the arms. Slightly press the hands against each other. Bring the hands in front of your Manipura chakra, kind of in front of the diaphragm, below the ribs, or just kind of where the ribs kind of end. And feel that reciprocation of energy between the core and your arms. Hugging the midline is something you can keep all the time, especially in stressful times. Release that energy, bring it into your eyes, and slowly release all the way down. Namaste, everyone. Have a beautiful week.